So 299 is where we are. So first skill we built from the previous lesson was multiply. So if you multiply a root times another root, you have to have the problem set up by an author that what is the same about them. What has to be
index?
The index. What's the index? What's that?
It's the little number outside.
It's that little number in the front. So that little tiny number in the front has to be the same on both of them. When you go to make your answer, does that index change or continue to stay the same? Stays the same. You just have to multiply the things under. What are those called? Radicand is correct. So we skipped threes on this, but just number 3, for example, I'd get a cube root answer because it was all cube root problems. Number 3 would be the cube root of 10 because we multiply the radicands. Question about the concept? So what do you think about 1?
6.
Square root of 6 is true. Number 2.
Square root of 35.
Square root of 35 is true. 4.
Cube root of 14.
Cube root of 14 is true. 5.
Cube root of 72.
Not a cube root.
Oh. What's it? It's a 4.
Fourth root. It'll be fourth root of 72. 7.
Would it be cube root, well, square root of 30 AB?
Square root of 30 AB is true. 8.
Square root of 26 XY.
That's true. 10.
Fifth root of 85.
It is. 11.
The square root of a, or x minus a, and x times x plus a.
Yeah, let's FOIL that out. It'll be square root of, what would you get if you FOILed those out? Do you need a second to do that?
So x squared minus a squared.
Yeah, square root of x squared minus a squared is true. 13.
Cube root of 1 of 6 x squared.
That's true. 14.
Cube root of 1
There should be some y's there.
So, cube root 40211.
Not just a y,
Squared.
a y squared. And it would be a 0.21 without the 0 after the decimal. 16? It is. Fifth root, x minus 2 cubed, 17.
6y over 5y.
6y over, rethink, 5x, yeah. And then say one more thing.
Square root.
Square root of 6y over 5x.
I got you.
That takes us through 17. Anybody up through 17? Any kind of question? Second skill we built was trying to simplify roots, which meant we had to find a perfect square or a perfect cube or a perfect whatever the index was that could go in. For example, if I went to do number 21, which we skipped, 21 I'd think about 4 being a perfect square. So since 4 is a perfect square, I square root it and the answer would have a 2. And then left under the root, since 4 goes into that 6 times, I'd say 2 root 6. A 2 would come out, a 6 would stay under. That's the kind of thing we're trying to do on 21. Question about that concept? So let's start in the back and work through, because the people in the back just got the harder ones. We'll give the people in the back an easier one. You were absent, but did you get a chance to do 19 or not go on that yet? Yeah.
Oh, I did it just now.
Okay, you'll do 9. What do you got for 19? 2 root 2.
Way to go.
We'll come back through the other way. 20.
3 square root of 2.
That's true. 22. Okay, we'll try you for 20. Let's go.
5.
That's close. Go back ahead a person. If something close to 5 root 2 on 22. 2 root 5. It's going to go the other way around. 23 a shot.
23. 6x squared and the root of 5.
That's true. 25. No go 25, no go 25, no go 25. 25.
3m squared root 2m squared.
They're X's, but otherwise close. What one thing did she forget to say that maybe even she wrote?
The 3.
The index, the little index
I
of
did
3
write
on
it.
there. Okay, so 3x squared is there. Then under the cube root, 2x squared, and that's a win. 26.
Is it 2y and then the root of 5?
What kind of root of 5?
I don't have that written down.
Okay, index of 3 should be there. So 2y and then a cube root of 5. 28.
Okay, so 3 and then 4m5 is,
That's close. There is a 3 out, there is a 4 under. But the m's, there should be some out and some in.
oh, okay.
They'll go on that. So let's get 28 cleaned up and then we'll stop on that section. There's a 3 out, there's a 4 in. There's a cube root, so like a 3 index on there. Anybody in opinion what's happening with the m's, outs versus ins? 1 out, 2 in. So 3m out, cube root, 4m squared in, and we'll stop on that group. Does anybody need help more than just you heard some answers?
I forgot to do it.
Okay, so if you had something like the square root of 200, I made you a list of numbers and squares. Somewhere on this list of squares, there's 100 that came from 10. So 100 is our most helpful number. That goes in twice. So the 2 gets stuck under there. The 100, since it's our helpful number on the list, comes out. 100 square rooted is 10. If this were a cube root instead, 8 comes from 2. So if it's a cube root, we'd have to switch to our cubes. 8 goes into that 25 times. So 25 gets stuck. 8 cube rooted is 2, so 2 would come out. You just have to make sure you use the right list. Like, if it's a square root, we like to see 25. But if it's a cube root, we don't. You know, if it's a square root, we like that 100. Cube roots, we don't. You just, if it's a square root, look at the squares. Cube root, you look at the cubes. Is that enough of a cleanup? Anybody else from 19 to 32? Any help trying to clean up? Okay, 34 then, what we did is both things. We did a multiply first to make an answer that got bigger, but then most of the time those could get simplified to get back down to smaller. So let's see what we can do with this. 34?
3 and then 2 squared.
3 root 2 is good, yep. 35?
5 and then root 2.
5 root 2 is good. 37?
8.
8 is good. No go, no go. 38 okay or no? No. 38 maybe or no?
4 square root of 3.
4 root 3 is good. 40?
3 root 6.
Try to work ahead. Anybody give that one? Give that one?
This one?
40?
Oh, wait,
Wait,
did I?
go ahead. We'll give it to you and then we'll see what he's thinking. Yeah, it's a 3 and then it's a cube root of 2. 41 a shot, or did you run out of steam?
33.
It is 30, square root of 3, and then we'll just stall out there at 41. What were you going to say about, do you need help with all 40?
No, I see what I meant.
Okay. Anybody on that group up to 47 need any kind of guidance about what's going on with those? Anything there?
Can I get 41?
41. Okay, so the first thing you would do is multiply and be looking at the root of 2,700. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, then this list, the highest number I took you to was 100. So maybe you go there with 100 versus 27. So that would be a 10 and a 27. Are you with that? That's not the final answer, but that's a decent start.
Yeah.
Are you with that?
Yeah.
Okay, 27 can go again. Who on the square list could help you with 27? 9 goes 3. So you're stuck underneath with this 3. When 9 comes out, it becomes another 3, and it multiplies that 10. That would be a path to get up to the 30 days.
That's it. That's it.
Anybody else, any kind of anything on that page, stuff to guide you with? If it's done and well, send it. If it's like not done or not well, keep going, get me soon. Just try not to let homework pile up on you. We have 8 days till grade period ends, so
Oh, 8 days.
just be careful in managing that.
Oh, can I get it back?
Can you wait till we're done? You should take 10 minutes-ish, maybe. So today we're gonna divide. We had sort of dropped that idea that today we would divide. So there's one main thing that you should know about dividing is, if I write a divide problem this way, or if I write a divide problem that way, it's the exact same thing. Okay, so what this is probably making you think you should do is like divide first, and then worry about the roots later. And that, you can do that way. Or no, excuse me, this is making you think maybe you should do the roots first and divide later, and that's fine. This is making you think, hey, divide first, and then let me do the root later. That's fine. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way. So let's take it on both ways. If I go to do the divide first, this problem could become the square root of 8. That's not a bad answer. That's not the best answer because we learned about simplifying last week. So let me again, I'll start to make that table again. 4, 9, 16, 25. Those are some squares. Which of these squares help you with 8?
4.
4. 4 goes in 2 times. So answer? 2 root 2. Question about trying to take that problem on that way. Plan B. If you try to take on 160, which of these helps you with 160? 16 goes in 10. So that would become 4 root 10. 20
4.
is 4. 4 goes into that. 5, so
2 root 5.
2 root 5. But again, best answer. If 4 divides 2, that's 2. If a root divides a root, that's root 2. It's the same either way. Which felt easier?
The top one.
I think. So what I'd encourage you to do is, if you can divide, just divide immediately, because then instead of 2 roots, you have, excuse me, have 1. And that's probably your best play. So if you can divide, divide. If you can't divide, take on the roots. So for this one, can you divide?
No.
No. So take on the roots. Root of 49
7.
is 7. Root of 64
8.
is 8. If they're on the perfect square list, you don't have the square root sign surviving the problem. 49 and 64 turn into 7 and 8. They're perfect squares, no more roots left. That can happen. Question about first grouping? Okay, so next grouping. Can we divide those?
No.
No. So check our list. 8, 27, 64, 125, those are on that list. 27 turns into 3, 125, 5. No more root, we did the roots. They're on the list, no more radical signs. Something there. So can we divide?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do it. Cube root can just wait a second. Divide gets you 8. Can we improve the cube root of 8?
Yes.
Yes, it's 2. Because on the cube list, 8 is there, it'll turn into 2. Something there. This one, can we divide?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do it. Square root still waits. The number would become 8. What would happen to the x's? They're gone. Can we improve square root of 8?
Yep.
Yep. Will it have the root sign disappear or still appear? Still appear. 8 is not on our square list, but there is a helper number.
4.
4. 4 goes in 2 times.
2 root 2.
2 root 2. Can we divide?
No.
No. So just take it on. 25.
5.
5. Root sign or no?
No.
No. It's a perfect square. How about bottom? Y. 2 days ago, since this index unwritten is 2, which is even, a couple days ago they expected us to do bars. That went out the window, and I didn't hit that point yesterday. When you went to do the 7-2 homework, at some point they started to say, assume all of this stuff is not negative. And today they say that again. Assume that everything is positive. Which, if you're assuming everything's positive, you don't need the bars. So the bars are on timeout. The bars will make it on the quiz study. This one, can we divide?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do it. There's still a root sign. Divide gets you 16. Can we improve root 16?
Yeah.
It's with or without the radical sign? Without. We can do the root of 16 by using our chart or our calculator. It is 4. Something about that. This one, can we divide?
No.
No, so just take them on. Root of 16 is 4. When we have an index of 2 and an exponent, what were we doing about those a couple days ago?
Take one out.
Take 1 out and leave 1 in. We were looking to divide. 2 goes into 3 once, so 1 out. Remainder is 1, so 1 stays in. Bottom,
2 out.
2 out, nothing in. Can any of that divide any of that? No, so move on. Something there. Can we divide?
Yeah.
So let's do it. Numbers,
4.
4. X's,
Squared.
squared. Y's,
No.
none. We can't improve that. Square root of 4, 2. Square root of x squared, x. Is there a radical sign still?
No.
No, we wiped it out. Anything there? Can we divide?
Yeah.
Yeah, who has to just sit there though?
For 5.
5 is gonna just sit there and wait. Cube root, we can turn into
16.
16. Can we do anything about cube root 16?
2 of
We can use an 8. 8 goes into that 2 times. So when 8 comes out, it comes out as a 2, upgrading 5 into 10.
So 10 cube root 2.
10 cube root 2. What did I do wrong on purpose?
That's 3 out.
Yeah, leave that index on. So there. I think this is the one that scared people on the way in. This isn't worthy of being scared of. I don't think anything really today is all that scary. Can we divide?
Yep.
Yep. So we're going to get a temporary Rudy answer when we're dividing first. Numbers? 9. X's?
3.
3. Y's?
3.
3. Square root of 9? 3. Radical sign left for that?
No.
No. Are the letters going to make us have leftovers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the X's,
X, Y out.
1 out,
1 in.
1 in. Y's?
1 out.
1 out, 1 in. From there. 1 more run. Can we divide?
Yeah.
Yep. Who's gonna just sit and wait though?
10.
10. 10's gonna sit and wait, and we're gonna get some roots.
25.
Numbers, 25. X and Y. Root of 25 is 5.
Leave the X, Y.
And leave the X, Y alone. There's nothing you can do about that. Is that our best answer?
Nope.
No. 5/10 wouldn't have been your best answer in 7th grade either. What can you do about 5/10? Make that a half. So we for sure have to write the 2. The root XY is going to sit there. You could write a 1, but you don't have to. You don't have to write the 1 anymore than you have to write the index. Who's the index? 2. Now, who could we write powers on these if we insisted?
1.
1s. But we don't need any of that stuff. We don't need that last one. That's where we are. That's our deal. Anybody have a question about any of these concepts? So again, to emphasize, does it really truly matter if you divide first or root first? No, but I think life is simpler if you can, if you divide first, and then simplify when you're done. Homework off of this, we're just doing straight through to 20. There's no skip around, skip the 3s, none of that. We're just going straight through to 20 homework. One thing that I'm going to do, let's do this now for practice just to see how we are. I have a series of like little quizzes again from this chapter. There's maybe 20 problems. There's a practice version of it. Let's do a practice version now. You can go ahead and use the bathroom or bathroom customer. But let's do a practice version. I'll give you answers once we have everybody do it. Then we can start on homework once we get to that. So, quick word about homework. The 303, do this tonight in the best way possible, which is give a faithful daily effort and try to be accurate. I say that as a warning shot because I look ahead and I have an answer key for grading this homework for 10 points. So maybe that mood will strike me tomorrow and maybe it won't. But usually this time of year, it's a fairly common thing that people have trouble motivating themselves to do the homework day by day and do it well. So maybe that serves as a motivational tactic. This is a homework that it's very much like the stuff on the board. So if you understood the board, and if you go at it today while it's fresh on your mind, you should be able to have pretty good success. But your best way to do the homework is always the day it's assigned, and by checking your odds in the back. If you check your odds in the back and you do the evens the same way, the evens should turn out A-OK just fine. So it's worth the wise there. If the snow comes that they're threatening, which who knows, what I would have you do tomorrow is just watch a 7-4 video. I'll probably film a 7-4 video today sometime and just put it up. So if things get canceled, delayed, you get canceled, delayed, whatever, they're predicting snow from 3 to 9. So that is the sweet spot for snow to do bad things to school. But it's hard to imagine the weather lately that's really going to happen. It's felt like spring, so it's hard for me to picture this is real. But maybe it is. But as the educational process must go on, if we end up getting some sort of whatever's tomorrow, just watch a 7-4 video and do it up. If we are here, we'd probably do a little quiz like this tomorrow. So here come the answers and how to do it. So let me rattle through all the answers first. And then if you need help, I'll do all the help you need. But if you don't need help, you might as well just chip away at your 303. So 1, I'm going to say both 9 and negative 9. When I use the words, you want both answers. 2 is just 9. 3 is just negative 9. 4 is impossible. 5 would be an X in bars. 6 would be an X, but not in bars. And if you're missing these, mark them wrong so you know you need to study them and then fill in the right answer. That's your best play. 7 is 5. 8 is negative 5. 9 is also negative 5. 10, root 60 would probably get you half a point, but the best answer is 2 root 15. 11, if you have root 36, that would probably give you half a point, but your best answer is 6. 13 would have no radical sign in the answer, it just goes away. Oh, I'm out of order for this. Do you have a 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so mine originally didn't have a 12 and I filled it in. 12, if you have root 96, that's probably a half point kind of answer. Best answer is 4 root 6. 13 has no radical sign survive, it's just x squared y cubed with no punctuation on it. 13 would be x cubed y fourth coming out to the front. Then remember your 3 index, and underneath the cube root symbol, x squared y. 15 is where today's lesson starts. If you have 6 eighths, that's probably a half point answer, but that reduces to 3/4. 20, or for 16, if you had root 4, that's probably half a point worth of an answer, but best answer is 2. For 17, if you had the cube root of 12x to the 4th, that's probably a half point answer. Best answer is 2x squared and then a square root of 3. For 18, if you had cube root of 27, that's probably a half point answer. Best answer is 3. And then the last ones, make sure you jot down exactly what I'm saying, because I can be a little bit picky about how you're saying things on these. So 29, you for sure would have to say positive, something about positive. I wrote positive root on mine. Like on number 2, we were doing the principal square root when I used that symbol. I wanted the positive answer only, so the positive root is 19. 20, you could just draw it. So for 20, if you just wrote this, I'm good with that. It's a little bit easier to draw it than try to describe it. 21 is maybe like so easy that it's hard. If you just recycle the words in a different order, you have the right answer. It's an expression with a radical sign. So an expression with one of these, I just wrote expression with and then put that symbol on there again. 22, you can say it's the stuff under this symbol. So for example, the 8 is the radicand here, the 10 is a radicand, the 5 is a radicand. The stuff under this symbol is the radicand. And for 23, it's the little number in front of this sign. And I definitely would want you to say little, like this is not an index. This is a number in front of the radical sign, but that's not an index. The index are these things, these little numbers that are in front of the radical sign, those are the index. So little number in front of this sign, that is the index. So if you got it, you got it. If you sort of got it, study a little bit. If we have school, we'll look to do that tomorrow. Anybody need a repeat first?
What's 13?
13 was x squared y cubed with no radical signs or punctuations on them anymore.
5 and 6.
5 was an x with bars around it. 6 is just an x with no bars around it.
Why does 5 have bars?
If you have an even index, you put bars around it, odd index does not.
I forgot. That's 14.
14 was x3, y4 coming to the front. And then under the cube root sign, make sure you get the little 3 index on there also, but under the cube root sign, x squared y.
What was that?
What was it?
8 is negative 5.
15.
15 was 3/4 got reduced down from 6/8. 6/8 is probably something that tempted you, but 3/4 is better. 13 was x squared, y to the third with no like roots or anything like that.
What about, don't you put the bars on y?
No, I was only gonna worry about the bars on 5 and 6. We'll just I'll do 1 bar, 1 no bar, the rest of it we can ignore the bars.
What's 9?
9 is negative 5. And remind me tomorrow, and I'll remind people when we take it about which ones I care about bars on.
But generally, like, if that was any other-
Generally, yeah, we would go bars, like we go a y in and a y out, if it was a lesson where that mattered. But by the time we were multiplying like that, the homework wasn't caring about that anymore. And the quiz won't care about that either. Other repeats? Anybody need some how do you do that magic kind of advice on any of those? 10. Are you okay with root of 60 coming to our mind? Okay. So then we're going to check our squares list. So the only number on this that can help us by dividing into 60 is 4. 4 goes into that 15 times. You okay with that idea? So far? 4, if you just grab your calculator and try to divide, 4 goes into 60 15 times. 4 is special because we can root it to be 2, but the 15 is not any kind of special squaring number, and you just leave it underneath. Is that okay? Anybody else, any kind of how do I do this magic questions? Yes, sir.
So, for 4 and 9, what makes 4 not?
Okay, if you have an even index, which that has a 2 invisibly there, you can't have a negative radicand and have it work out. Because nothing times itself can make a negative. That's impossible. But if I go odd index, if you have a negative go in to an odd power, a negative comes out just fine. So 9 works just fine, but 4 is a dead end right there. Yep.
For like 17, I got like 12 x with 4.
Okay, so then for the 12, we check our list. 4 is a helpful number. 4 goes into that 3 times. So the 3 gets stuck underneath, but 4 is special. It's a perfect square that can be rooted and a 2 can come out. You okay with that? Then the index of 2, like we have a 2 out and an x to the 7 in. Divide 2 into 7, and that means 3 can come out. Or no, wait. I'm sorry. We have reduced that down to 4. Did you get to a point with a 2 index that was invisible on a 4? Did you? Okay.
I got like 12x to the 4.
Yeah, so you have a 12x to the 4 that's in.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a 2 that's invisible that's always there. And the index always wants to divide into the power. So 2 into 4 goes twice, so x squared comes out. And that's the final answer on that. Anybody else with questions about how do I do this magic? So grand total of stuff, 303 tomorrow, do a good job, I may grade the evens. If there's time in class like we had today, we would hit up this 7-3 quiz. Tomorrow I'd like to do 7-4 in person, but if snow removes that possibility, just check for a video on 7-4 and any of the quiz stuff, we just push ahead a day.